you know, this weekend is built as the ultimate gathering, global gathering for singles. I know you're thinking, what is that about? We shall explain to you right now why it is important that single people are a part of this activity. Joining me, and I hope I get the names right, you know, hold me with these names that are a little strange, Vicky Otaroyini. Did I say that right, Vicky?
Vicky Otaruyina.
Okay, that one, right? And Solomon Otaroyina James. Husband and wife. Good
Yes.
morning, both of you. Thank you for joining us here
Good
this morning.
morning.
Right. Because the ultimate global gathering for singles, why are you doing this?
Well, I'm going to start out. Thank you so much for having us. I'm doing it because, first of all, it's not the first time.
Hmm.
I started a few years ago, and I went through a journey of transformation, a journey of healing, of finding myself in my single journey, in my single period, my waiting season, and that it really started after a breakup.
Mm.
And instead of me looking, thinking, okay, next, my next was simply, how can I become the greatest version of myself and find myself in that season? So have been out there, written a book called God's Purpose for the Wait. And through that book and the event, I've been showing people, this is how you can maximize this waiting period as you prepare not only for, the possibility of marriage, but prepare to be a man or a woman of purpose.
A lot of times, Solomon, you know,
Mm.
we tend to put the onus on the woman. Get yourself ready because us guys are always in the hunt phase. And so we don't quite understand, why must I wait? Why must I pause for just a moment to get myself ready when I'm supposed to be out there seeking the next prey to bring into my lair? Talk to me a little bit from the man's perspective, the value of
Okay.
attending this global gathering.
All right. Thank you very much. A lot of people, when you talk about waiting, right, they think it's all for marriage.
Hmm.
Now, if I'm to digress a little bit to the Bible, which I'm not going to quote, now, before God brought Eve to Adam, Adam was busy. So,
Yes.
in the process of waiting, is the time you discover yourself as a man. You have to discover yourself, you have to discover your capability, and you have to be ready mentally. Because marriage is not for boys, so there are men, but they are not husbands.
Mm.
And at the same time, there are men, but there are not business inclined people. So you see a lot of people go into marriage or go into relationship, even business wise, and like we say, we are not focusing on marriage alone, but they are not prepared. So you see a lot of young people today make a lot of mistakes because they can't hear the voice of God and they are not prepared because they cannot wait. So the process of waiting to every man is a process where you are being developed from a boy to a man.
You say we can't hear, or sometimes we choose not to recognize when he's speaking to us because, you know, he talks to us in many different ways. And you're right, yes, he can't hear, but at the same time, many of us, pointing at myself,
Yes,
we
yes,
redefine his voice to fit the accent that we have, when all the while he's just
mhm,
telling us, listen, I've asked you to wait.
exactly,
There's something you need to work
exactly,
on.
exactly. So the process of waiting is where you discipline yourself, you learn patience, you learn tolerance, first of all about yourself, and then you learn self-love.
Mm.
It's a lot of men, right? They hear, but they have to they kind of move or transfer past experiences from past relationships, both in terms of marriage, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend,
Mm.
business wise. So they transfer it to every new opportunity that comes. And that is another reason why they don't listen when God is speaking and they make a lot of errors.
Mm. So, Vicky, us men, we have to open our ears, right? Because sometimes you women are, you know, the voice of God can come through the female vessel, I think, sometimes. And so we need to hear it. But I know while waiting, you can't stop still because you still have to be doing things to prepare oneself for when that
Yes,
moment comes.
definitely. So
And
in
mhm.
in that period of waiting, you are, as I said before, you are seeking to find out from God, in this season, what do you want from me? Obviously, in that phase, you realize there is more to me. And as you ask that question, your eyes will begin to open to look back at the mistakes that you've made in
Hmm.
those relationships. To look at, when you start to line up yourself with God, you'll be looking into a mirror. You'll be saying, "Well, I really don't speak the way that I should. I'm really not a submissive type of person. I don't even submit to the word of God the way that I should." So you're practicing becoming that woman that you were created to be, that man that you were created to be. In the midst of doing that, you're preparing yourself to be the greatest version, whether it's for business, whether it's for ministry, whether it's for a husband or for a wife. As long as you line up yourself in that season with God, waiting before you are married or waiting for what's next, He is actually preparing you to be the best version of yourself. And without thinking of getting married, or without thinking of, oh, who's that person? Who am
Hmm.
I going to get married to? He is such a great God. He's actually molding you for that person. So there's no need to rush, no need to worry. Just line up with the perfect will of God.
That is so well said indeed. And so this weekend, on Saturday and on Sunday, you're inviting us all to be a part of the ultimate global gathering. Talk to us how we can do so.
Definitely sign up online.
Hmm.
It's all going to be virtual because we have persons joining not only from Barbados, from around the Caribbean. We have Kenya, we have Nigeria, and we have UK. People from all around the world have registered. You just go to bit.ly/God's purpose for the wait. And you're going to gain access to the WhatsApp community as you come in. And it begins at 11 a.m. AST on Saturday, on Sunday at 5 p.m. So we're going to have 3 sessions, and we're going to be sharing our story of how we would have divinely connected
Mm.
as a Bajan and a Nigerian as well. We're going to share that on the first day, and the second day we're going to talk about how do you get rid of those, those ties. You can't stop thinking about the person. You can't move forward. Those ties that have you held down,
Hmm.
and so you can move forward. And then we're going to be ministering to persons prophetically as well.
This is a powerful, powerful session. And whether or not you're waiting to be married to find the right one, or you're just choosing not to be married, you're just in your time, this is for you. And
Mhm.
sometimes couples find themselves over time being a little bit apart. Maybe this is a moment for you to reconnect in some way by being a part of this gathering as well. Is
Mhm.
registration free of cost, or is when I go there to God's purpose for the wait, I will find those details?
Okay. Registration is absolutely free. It's absolutely free. So, um, our purpose right now is to impact the knowledge that God has given unto us to the
Hmm.
people. So once you make yourself available, and that's one of the reasons why we decide to make it visual, so we can reach out to people all over the world. And we are also going to like create a pamphlet out of it,
Hmm.
so people can, get the image. And I would like my wife to say something more regarding that.
Yeah, just quickly. So basically, when you come to this event at the end or after the event, you're going to gain access to the booklet, which tells you, which teaches you become how to become the one as you prepare for the one.
I love it indeed, because it has to be the follow up. At the end of any doctor's visit, you have a follow up. Do this, do that, do third, and we'll do a check in on you as well. And so that's the whole purpose, everybody. It's brought to you by the Prophet Solomon and Prophetess Vicky, and they're looking forward to all of us gathering online on Zoom tomorrow, Saturday, and again on Sunday. Tomorrow it starts at 11 and on Sunday at 5. But you need to register, folks. You need to register for this free virtual conference. You see the information at the bottom of your screen, https:/God's purpose for the wait. And that's where you get all your details. You're in for these life-changing moments indeed with these two people of God. And so I want to encourage as many of you as possible, single, connected or not single, single because you broke up, single because you chose to be single, you're still waiting. We look for God's purpose for the wait. There is a purpose. God has a purpose for each of us. Thank you so much, Vicky and Solomon. I really hope
Thank
that
you.
we have a really, really warm, full response to this. Indeed, and many people around the world benefit significantly from this. Thank you.
For sure. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You're very welcome indeed.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.